Happy Sunday, everybody. Today is Saturday. It's sort of overcast. It's not quite raining, but it's very cloudy out. Very cool. I think we have a cold front coming through. So it's been lovely weather today, and I did plan on spending a lot of time in my garden today, but you know, life gets ahead of us, and sometimes that doesn't always happen. I did work on a lot of things this week, so why don't we go ahead and take a look, and it'll just be a quick update, and I'll inform you of some of the things that you might look forward to seeing next Sunday. I started right here with the Rosemary Topiary and trimmed that up a little bit. So in the side effect of that, my whole house smells like rosemary as it's drying, and it's very nice. I went ahead and took my top tier out and replanted the thyme here in front of the rosemary. Wanted this to start sort of maybe growing in a little bit, if it will. And coming into the summer, I was just having to water that top pot way too much. So hopefully this will stay a little bit more moist. I did move the basil. I will be moving the lemon balm, but the spot where I was going to put the lemon balm in, as I was digging, I came across a huge mound of bull ants, so we went ahead and put some bait down on that, and we'll leave that alone for a day or two. So that'll be something else that I'll work on. In the meantime, let's take a look over here in the area. As we pass by, you'll notice that the camper looks a little bit different, and I will be doing a quick video on the painting of the camper. But how awesome is that? That's what my husband's been working on, and making the cargo trailer look retro. So you get a sneak peek on it here on Watching My Garden Grow. All right. So over here we have the tomato plant is doing very well, and finally some of the tomatoes are starting to ripen. It is very full of a lot of tomatoes, so I'm very excited about that. Just interesting enough, there's that beefsteak tomato. It is still standing, so I'm happy about that. I do have some Romas that hopefully will make it big enough for me to at least cut off. The ones that I cut off last time are still green, but as we did see with the other ones, they did finally turn red. Whatever was eating the pepper plants seems to have stayed away, and the pepper plants are starting to form new leaves, so I find that exciting. The tomato plants here are starting to flower, which means we'll have some tomatoes soon. Here's my lovely lettuce. I have been eating a huge bowl of this lettuce every night, and it's really providing very well, so I'm happy about that. Here we have an empty bucket. Here we have the tomatoes that are on our vertical garden. So anxious to see those turn. Our peas are finally up to the fence and growing a little bit stronger. There we go. The celery probably will start to, I just bought a new thing of celery inside the house. So once that's gone, I might start coming out and cutting some of these outer leaves for celery. I did move the spinach over. Can't remember whether I showed you that last week or if that was something I did this week, but it is responding well. The new leaves are coming out of the center, excuse me, very nicely. I am also eating kale every night, so that's exciting. The carrots are getting bigger. I did peek at one, and it is much bigger than it was before, so we'll be harvesting some of those, probably more like at one at a time. And here is some exciting news. I thought I might get to this today, but I did not. And this is the potatoes, and they are ready to be harvested. They are completely kind of lying over. One or two of the plants has completely died. You can see right there. So they are ready to be harvested, in which case I will then have to cure them for a couple weeks. But I'm really excited about that. So that is something that you will see in next week's video. So make sure to come back next Sunday. The lemon balm is doing really well and growing. I'm going to probably have to trim some of these heads off as they're starting to turn a little purple, and I've got all these green leaves down there that aren't getting the sun. But I have just continued to harvest it every morning like I do, and I continue to dry some of that. So some of the more exciting things over here in my new garden. This is my throwaway section here. We have planted some calusa here. So I knew that eventually, as this gets bigger, this would probably be futile because it's just not going to get enough sun for anything. So it's just really become my throwaway garden. Here was the basil that I took out of the herb tower because it really wasn't doing so well over there. And then I've got this set of celery. Peppers are still growing. Another set of celery. And this celery is celery that I've started from stalks from what I bought from the grocery store. Another thing is celery. The cauliflower is still flowering. What I did, you may have noticed that the cabbage was gone over there, and the cabbage just was not forming any heads, so I thought I'd just plant them over here, let them go to seed. That way maybe next year I'll start a little bit earlier, get those in the ground a little bit when get those in the ground when the air is a little cooler. If they do happen to do something over here, because now they have more room, well then they will. Over here in the corner was where I was going to plant the lemon balm, like I said, so we're going to let that sit. And over here is the tomatoes. They are all looking very well and have responded very well to the transplanting. And then I added a little color to the garden, and I added some little orange marigolds. And those were just the little $1.79, I think it was, I don't remember now, $2.50, and I got like 6 of them or something like that. I spent $10 altogether. So it just adds a little color back here. And I have heard that the marigolds are a good thing to plant along with your tomatoes, which is also have flowers on it already. So that's very exciting. In the meantime, what my husband did for me today, which was very sweet, is he went and got some dirt, and we started filling some of the containers over here. I don't have anything to plant in them quite yet, but the other thing that I did get was I got a tray of 72 starters. So I'm going to start a whole bunch of stuff this week also. So that'll be exciting. I haven't decided exactly what. I want to do stuff that I'm going to use that I know that's working. So I know that the lettuce is working. I know that the carrots are working. It looks like the peas are working. We know the tomatoes are working, but good Lord, do I really need any more tomatoes at this point? And peppers, I'm not so sure about, but I still have some seeds from the green peppers that grew very well until something came and ate them. So I am going to try to start those again. Did you catch the running Ricky in the background? Yeah, so that's just my quick update for this week. Thank you so much for coming by and joining me and watching my garden grow. Make sure to come back next week, because I think I'm going to have a lot of things that I'm going to be working on during the week, and I'll have a lot of things to show you next weekend. We'll see you real soon. Good morning, squirrely squirrel. Are you staying out of my garden?